Greetings once again, fellow geeks and or comic enthusiasts, whichever term you like best. I don't want to throw the term geek around too loosely, because some people might be kind of touchy about that, and I don't want to get the Rick Grimes treatment from anybody. I just watched Walking Dead a few hours ago, and the guy is like bad news with a machete, but great stuff. A couple things I want to touch on before I show some books. I know a lot of you guys do Comic Book Wednesday. I know you go to your comic shops and you pick up, what stuff you had in your pull file. And years ago, I had that too. But in my area, I'm from Kentucky, and I know there's a lot of good shops out there. But the shops that are closest to me are like 30 to 45 minutes away. And other than new books, there's really not a whole lot there that interests me. And I get my new stuff through a comic service where I get like at least 38% off of the new stuff, like regular comics, and maybe 25 or 30% off hardbacks and trades and different things. But I've been with these guys a long time. But instead of like going every week, which would cost me, $10 in gas, I just get my stuff once a month, and I pay maybe $10-12 shipping, and just the whole thing, so that saves me money. And and I miss hanging out with guys and talking comics, but I haven't seen a whole lot of guys my age, and there's the shops that are around me, there's not a whole lot of back issue stuff going on, and the stuff that they do have is pretty ratty shape, and it's just, I'm not going to, start calling out comic shop names, because I'm not going to piss anybody off, hopefully, but that's just my deal. I mean, I get it cheaper, and I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm going to give up the new stuff for the most part and just concentrate on my back issues, because I just recently watched a video that Hippie put up, and he made a good point. He's given up a lot of reading new stuff and putting his money back into back issues and the silver and Bronze Age stuff, which is my thing also, and I know a lot of you are into that. But I want to show a stack of stuff I got now. I know a lot of you guys are like mainly Marvel fans, and I understand it. When I started out collecting, I was mainly a DC guy, because that was like the first thing that I was exposed to. Probably all the places that I haunted for comics, probably 5 out of 6 was mostly Superman, Batman, Justice League. There was some Archies and Richie Rich and all that kind of stuff, and maybe like one store had some Marvel stuff. So that was mainly what I was, exposed to as a kid. And then, probably 4 or 5 years after I got into collecting seriously at the tender age of 11, I got into Marvels, and I got into all the old great Silver Age Marvel stuff and Bronze Age stuff. But I'll just show you a little stack of stuff I got. I'm just going to show you maybe half of it, just some highlights, I think. I follow books, and sometimes I follow characters, but a lot of times I'll just follow artists or writers, or just certain genres of stuff. But here's just a little stack of stuff I got in this. Like I say, I get them once a month, so it's, had been getting a pretty good sized box of stuff. But here's a series I've been enjoying a whole lot. Hit Girl, Mark Miller or Millar and John Romita Jr. It's just really entertaining stuff. And I found this, like I said, I follow artists, and this is Black Kiss 2, and this is by Howard Chaykin. Of course, you can kind of see it's a pretty cool cover, but it's all black and white art. Sort of crime noir type stuff. This is the early century, but Howard Chaykin did a lot of great stuff. American Flag, that's a pretty cool book. And of course, since I'm a DC guy, I got a lot of Zero issues. Got Aquaman, Zero, very cool book. I'm gonna hate to give a lot of these up, but like I say, I'm gonna start putting my money into my older stuff. Okay, Avengers vs. X-Men round 12. The Avengers is one of my all-time favorite comics. And as far as Marvel goes, I'll buy the Avengers stuff. Spider-Man sometimes, like Captain America. I like a lot of the, oddball stuff, the horror stuff. But cool book. And here's more AVX stuff, the Versus. This is number 6. I'm sure a lot of you guys are getting this. I've been getting the Before Watchmen stuff. Here's Comedian, number 3. Really liking this. I'll probably go ahead and finish out these miniseries before I stop buying new stuff, but these are really good. Excuse me. Animal Man. Really good storyline going through this book and Swamp Thing right now. I'll probably wait till that storyline's over and give that up. Well, this is one of my favorite series. This is the last issue. It's a 12 issue. The Shade. James Robinson. Anybody that read the Starman comic and the Shade miniseries know how good this stuff is. This is the final issue of that. Gene Ha did the art on this. Okay, Silk Spectre number 3. Darwin Cook and Amanda Conner. Another great book. This is one of my favorites since I'm a big fan of the Justice League and the Justice Society, and Earth 2 and all that stuff. Earth 2 number 0. I might have to keep collecting this one. And here we have number 1 of Planet of the Apes, Cataclysm. Anything that comes out Planet of the Apes I'm going to grab. It's just my thing. I think this is set just like several years before the first movie. I think the apes blow the moon up or something. I don't know, but it haven't read it yet, but it looks pretty good. Okay, Swamp Thing 0. Cool cover. Another favorite title, World's Finest. You got Kevin Maguire. I think this is all Kevin Maguire issue. There had been George Perez, and then they had like a little interlude shown 5 years earlier before they came to the New 52 Earth. But it's great art and great stories. More Avengers versus X-Men. This is round 11. More good stuff. Night Owl number 3. And I think, sadly, this is probably the last issue that Joe Kubert got to do any art on before he passed away, because I think Bill Sienkiewicz finished up the last part. I know in the previews they had solicited a book called Joe Kubert Presents, where he would do like a story and some other Silver Age artists would do some stories, and I'm not sure if he got anything done on that or not, but I hope so. I'm really going to miss Joe. It's just great stuff. Like I said, big Avengers fan. Collect the New Avengers. It's number 30. Okay, and I've been picking this book up because it's Neil Adams, the first X-Men. You know, the art in this is just great. Probably anything Adams does, I'll pick it up. It's a great Wolverine cover. Some Image stuff. I like Savage Dragon. I always like Larson's work. I'll probably be giving this up, and I might get some of the trades later, but I always enjoyed this title. More AVX stuff. Avengers. Number 30. Okay, Ozymandias number 3. Comedian on the cover. Len Wein and Jay Lee. And Legion of Superheroes 0. Been reading the Legion since 71, 70 maybe. Be hard to give this one up too. Okay, Justice League 0. There's a great Captain Marvel cover, Gary Frank. Going to be doing a video later on of my Justice League run. Like I said before, I'm probably 25 or 30 issues shy of the original run. Not counting the Brave and Bold appearances, but yeah, this is a good book. Anybody that likes Robert Kirkman and Walking Dead, they know about this book, Invincible. Kind of been getting it on and off. I've been picking up the trades, so I'm probably just gonna go ahead and go that route and just give up the monthly. Okay, and some other magazines I get. I hadn't got this in a while, and when I got it, I understood why. Comic Buyer's Guide. This book is not what it used to be. I liked it better when it just came out every week and it was just like in a newspaper tabloid format. A lot more ads for guys selling books and buying books, and it's pretty thin now. Probably my last issue of this. But a couple of books I will be getting is this. This is like a really great resource for stuff on the 70s and 80s. I think Captain Strangelove had a video where he was giving out some good reviews of this book. It's issue 59. And this is issue 60. Like I say, I get my shipments once a month, so a lot of times if a book has been delayed or is a little slow coming out, I might get 2 issues at once, which is okay. And probably the highlight of this shipment was a hardback by Walter Simonson, Judas Coin. This is a story. It starts out with the betrayal of Christ by Judas, and he did that. As anybody that reads the Bible or knows about the story, he did it for some gold coins, and this kind of shows what happened to those coins all the way through history. It starts out with Judas, and it goes through characters like the Viking Prince. Another character came out in the 70s, Captain Fury. He was like a Caribbean pirate. He had a feature in the back of Adventure Comics in the early 70s. Alex Nino did it. It was great. And you have Batlash, DC's Western characters, and goes all the way up through Batman and Two-Face in the last part of the story. But, anybody that likes Walt Simonson, of course, he did the great run on Thor, did a lot of, just great stuff. But, it's just a beautiful book. It just, like I said, just different chapters go through the ages, showing what happened to the coins. There's some black and white. Haven't read it yet, but looks really good. Okay, that's it for the new stuff. Another point I want to touch on, one of Hippie's videos, he was talking about when he found this community, it just kind of reinvigorated him into collecting and wanting to get back into his comic collecting. And I was really the same way because my stuff had stayed in boxes for years and I hadn't really pulled anything out. And my wife and I just recently got moved, as many of you know. And I just got settled in. I kind of had the room in good shape. I was like, I haven't went through my comics yet. So I was like, I'm going to pull out all the stuff from like the Bronze Age on back. I was okay, well, it won't be too bad. Well, the time I got through going all the boxes, I probably ended up with, like 20 boxes of stuff, like 30 years or 35 years and older. And I found a bunch of stuff that I hadn't even bagged. I mean, years ago, like in the 90s, I had bought a bunch of like bronze and silver stuff in lots. There was a seller, and he's still on eBay. It was J&S Comics from New Jersey. And I bought all these great lots of books for, just, they were like 50 and 60 and 70% off guide, 15 years ago. Excuse me. And a lot of that stuff was just laid in the boxes, and I hadn't bagged or boarded any of it. So well, I'm going to have to bag this stuff up. Well, I started, and I've got a stack of 100 of them here, and I ran out of bags and boards. Well, you see the stack here. There's probably about 400 comics there, and they're all like, 30 years or older. And so I just seriously need to order some bags and boards. But I'll be showing some of this stuff later on. But got some Silver Age stuff here. Some of the stuff you might have already seen, but I just, like I say, and I started pulling all the key issues out and just books I liked. I found this stuff. I think I've probably shown this before. Probably 3 or 4 other guys have too. Doctor Strange 180. Gene Colan and Steve Ditko on the cover. I've got another copy of this, but it's ratty. This is probably a fine plus, maybe. Got a couple little things on the corner, but not too bad. Okay, Star Spangled War Stories 138, Enemy Ace. A great Kubert cover. There's Von Hammer. It's a great series. For all you Iron Man fans, and I know you've probably seen this cover, the Demon in a Bottle cover, 128 Iron Man. I guess Bob Layton on the art, maybe. Yeah, that's a classic cover. Okay, and this is Showcase 82 Nightmaster, and that was a Joe Kubert cover, and I think this is the first DC work that Bernie Wrightson ever did. So this is a really cool book to have. Number 82. Okay, Secret Six number 1. Really cool cover. And the writing in this series was actually really good. I think it only lasted 6 or 7 issues, but really cool book. Okay, Showcase 74. First appearance of Anthro. I think it was Howie Post on the art on this. Yeah. But another caveman type book, in the tradition of Thor and those type characters. Pretty cool book. And this is one of my all-time favorite covers. Witching Hour 14, The Haunted House in Space, Neil Adams cover. I think when I bought this, still got the sticker on it that says Al Williamson art. So there's some really good art in here. That's a really cool cover. That would probably be in my top 10 or 15 right there. Here's more Neil Adams. House of Mystery 178. Very cool cover. Okay, Phantom Stranger 23. Jim Aparo cover, and I think the art inside too. And I think the backup was The Spawn of Frankenstein. I think that's right. Yeah. And here's some old silly Silver Age classics. Superboy 142. Superboy 08. I love these old Silver Age covers. Most of DC's are kind of silly, but you know, pretty cool stuff. Superman 225. Secret of the Superman Imposter. Pretty cool cover. And these last couple goes out to my buddy Hippie. Tom, these are for you. There's a Green Lantern 73. Cool Gil Kane cover. And here's another one. Here's issue number 45. It's another crossover with the Earth 2 Green Lantern, Alan Scott. Another great cover. Well, that's all I've got for now, guys. I just want to touch on something that a lot of other people have touched on here. I really appreciate this community. Like Hibby said, if I hadn't saw your guys' videos, I wouldn't have been all jacked up about going through my boxes and And I pulled out all that old stuff, and I was like a little kid again. And I was seeing it for the first time, and I was like, wow, 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 And but I just want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys putting out these videos. Anybody that's subscribed to me and made a comment. You guys want to talk about anything comic-wise, or got any kind of requests? Some people have already, I think, probably have already gave me a request or two, and I'm going to have to go back and I apologize if I haven't answered that request yet to see like my top 10 covers or whatever. But I am going to go back and find out who you were. Like I say, it's been crazy with this move and everything, but I do appreciate all the comments. Any questions, anything you want to see. Like I say, I was a child of the 60s and 70s, and in the early 70s I really started collecting heavy, and so anything from DC in that time, I've probably got it. But anyway, that's all I got for now, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.